Hi there, my name is Michael Poliza, and I want to show you a few pictures from a photo shoot I did a few years ago in Churchill, Canada, when I was going to take pictures of polar bears in the summer months. Now, Churchill is on Hudson Bay in northern Canada, and the best way to get there from Europe is via Chicago and then into Winnipeg. And from Winnipeg, you take a small plane for another 3 hours to get to Churchill. The only other way to get there is by train, as you can see in the background there. There's no road system connecting Churchill to anything. All the roads end up about 10-15 kilometers outside of the little town that is home to about 1,000 people. Only when the fans of the polar bears are coming in can get up to 3,000 or 4,000 people for a few weeks or so. Now there's plenty of wildlife to be seen around Churchill, and I'm especially fond of the beluga whales. Now, if the water is clear, you can even see them in the water and looking up to you and checking you out. Or if you have a plane and a little bit of patience, you can get maybe 8 of them flying in formation. Now, I want to clarify that I don't do photo shoot. I'm sorry, I don't do Photoshop when it comes to composition. I might work a little bit on the levels and contrasts and things like that, but I don't change the fundamental content of the picture. And it's really an amazing time, and you can, if you're lucky, you can see hundreds and hundreds of them from the air. Now, I came to really shoot the polar bears in the summer months, but I didn't want to get them in green grass. I really wanted to get them in the purple fireweed. So, as you know, polar bears eat seals, and they hunt seals on the ice during the winter months. But when the summer comes, the ice melts, they can't hunt anymore, and they have to swim ashore, sometimes a long way, over 100 kilometers or so. And we picked a beautiful place here with a very intense fireweed, and you've got to realize the fireweed only blooms for about 10 days or so. And we set up a camp here and hoping to then sit there and wait for the polar bears. Now, the best way to get there is first you fly by plane to the Seal River Lodge, and then you go by boat for the remaining 20 kilometers. And we were setting up a camp here. As you can see, there's the very a strong fence around our sleeping tent, and then you have a little a mess tent here, and then we have an electric fence all around it because those polar bears have to be taken really seriously. Here's the gang that built the camp. On the left is Mike Reimer. He owns Seal River Lodge, and his son on the right. And then there's Quent and Richard. Richard here is the guy on the left, and Quent on the right. And you can see my laptop there, my Mac in the corner, and my comfortable chair where I was downloading images and checking out my images from the shoot of the day. Now, the only thing you can do then is just kind of sit there and wait for the polar bears to come. They have an acute sense of smell, so they will finally come and check us out. And in case you didn't notice, I have way too big shoes on. When we came in by boat, I forgot to take my shoes off the boat, so I had to borrow my shoes from Richard, and he's size 15 or so. I'm size 10, but a few pairs of socks made it relatively comfortable. And I'm glad I didn't have to hike for kilometers and kilometers. Anyway, while you wait, you shoot a little bit of other wildlife stuff, but eventually you can be sure those polar bears are coming in. And you want to be really careful with these guys because, compared to an African lion, they are a serious threat. They are huge. They can be, over 4 meters tall when they stand up and over 12 feet high. And they can be way over 1,000 pounds, 600-700 kilos is not unknown, and we are totally on their dietary plan. Anything that moves can be eaten for polar bears, and they are hungry, as you know. There's no seals around. There's no hunting the seals, and they have to eat. So they really try to go for every little opportunity they have. So it was good that we had that little electric fence around us. Now, whenever they come really too close, we were kind of receding into our strong compound surrounded by that much stronger fence to give us really the protection we needed. Now, in those days to come, we had an incredible time, and we were sitting there and just shooting away from inside of our camp. and we got some really, really lucky shots there and some beautiful light, and I was really, very, very happy with the outcome of these photographs, who most of them actually ended up in one of my books called Antarctic and Arctic, the Arctic and the Antarctic, and Antarctic and the Arctic. Now I'm getting all confused. Anyway, this is probably one of my favorite shots, and I owe that to the fact that I had to go to the loo at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I stepped out of my tent and I saw this polar bear right in front of me, and this beautiful light. The sun was just coming up. In the northern summer, it only gets dark for about 3 hours or so. So this was an amazing opportunity. Well, I like to thank you for your attention. This was just a quick little story about my polar bear shoot. When we were back in Churchill, I even had the chance to shoot a few pictures of Northern Lights. And if you want more pictures, please go to michaelpoliza.com. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk soon.